Hello, everyone. Welcome to the daily political tarot readings here on the Black and Orange channel. Thank you so much for being here. I'm here 365 days of the year, and I take your 12 questions out of the chat. If you've got a political question, I don't do personal questions, just political, but just put them in the chat in all caps. Anything in the chat in all caps, that's how you talk to me. Other than that, please just type normally when you're talking to others, because people here are really supportive of each other and whatnot. So, and thank you for that. We also have epic troll slayers who keep us safe. This would not be possible without you guys. So thank you. Okay. So 10% of my income from everything Black and Orange related goes to feedingamerica.org, which supplies food to food banks across the country. It's an ongoing thing. Is that it? I think so. If you're watching this on replay, hello from Chicago. You can, hello kitten. You can just go down in the description box, and everything, all the questions are there, and everything will be time-stamped. So you should be able to just pick and choose what you're interested in, get in, get out, and it's that way every day. So you just can choose. You don't just sit through the whole thing. So if there's something you're curious about, you can always drop on by and have a look in the description box. I think that's about it. All right, so before we get started, I just want to mention this evening, I'm supposed to be on, I didn't check my email this morning. Oh, geez, I should do that. But I'm going to be on Red Lentil Healing at 6 o'clock Chicago time, Central Time, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. And it's going to be the group of us again, at least last I heard. Jenlyn Tarot, Becca from House of Lenormand, Lori from The Way of Positive Change. It's going to Johnny from Tarot's Apprentice, myself. I'll be doing the astrology stuff again from like last week, and we're going to continue down a list of prominent Republicans or Democrats who are irking us or whatnot. So that's this evening. So I'm looking forward to that. Tomorrow I may be on Tarot's Apprentice in the evening. I've got to check on that too, but definitely Saturday evening from 8 to 10 p.m. Central Time will be the patron-only tarot social. So patrons, just 2 hours every month. It's usually the last Saturday of the month, but this month the last Saturday is Christmas Day, so we're doing this Saturday. And it's just a small group. It's usually only about a dozen of us, and it's a lot of fun. Anyway, and other than that, I'm here every day at noon. So I think that's about it for the moment. Astrologically, hang on. Let's go back to my. Here we go. The only other thing of note is Saturday also at 11:35 in the evening Eastern Time, 10:35 Central Time, there's going to be a full moon in Gemini. So Saturday night, please stay safe. Please be careful when you're out and about. I just, think of what the moon does to the oceans. Vast bodies of water, high tides and low tides, and so imagine what it's doing inside us. So do stay safe Saturday, especially Saturday night, okay? And Sunday, Venus is going retrograde. Oh boy, Venus going retrograde. I can help you. There are some examples I can give of certain things that really become the mnemonic device, the thing that it's like, oh, yeah, that's what that means. Venus retrograde, Venus is what and how we love. In the way that Mercury retrograde, Mercury, how we communicate, when it goes retrograde, we have trouble with communications, or things we deal with will have to be dealt with later again. You have to revisit them, or it's all this kind of confusion. Venus retrograde has a tendency, one of the things it can do is past relationships, zombie relationships, or, oh, Linda, I hope you feel better. Or when Blasey Ford was in front of she was speaking about Kavanaugh in front of the Senate. There's someone on Twitter who had the best comment, which was worst Venus retrograde ever. Yeah. Yeah. So if anyone's ever like, oh, Venus retrograde, oof. It's not always bad. I mean, who knows? Maybe you can reconnect with somebody good out of your past. But generally speaking, yeah, okay. Life is short. It is far, far, far too short to go back. Don't go back. Forward. Go forward. Okay. All right, so that's what's going on in schedule. That's what's going on astrologically. And we're still waiting for a week from Tuesday. A week from Tuesday, Jupiter is going back into Pisces to stay. It was there. Oh, Sandy Miller. So should I not call the ex-boyfriend? No, do not call the ex-boyfriend. If unless you're like a friend, you're already in contact with the ex-boyfriend. If it's like, oh, I haven't seen you in a while, let me contact. No. Mm-mm. 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 Many zombie relationships rise from the grave during Venus retrograde. I don't want to clean my rugs that much. It just... Anyway, Jupiter moved into Pisces last June, and the COVID problem, it got better. Things really got better, and then Jupiter backtracked, went into retrograde back into Aquarius, and we ended up with all this mess. Also, when Jupiter went into Pisces back May, June, boom, Weisselberg was walked into court in handcuffs. And then when Jupiter went retrograded back into Aquarius, we've been waiting. Well, Jupiter's going back into Pisces to stay on the 28th. Oh, happy day. All right. All right. So, all right. Do not, no, Michael Grant, do not, no harming. I really enjoy your knowledge and you being here. Jail's really not worth it. It's really not. I was saying the other day when it comes to exes, let me just Allison Jacobs says, so if the ex-boyfriend calls, we shouldn't answer. It's up to you. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying the energy is not for any fortuitous place it won't be in a fortuitous place for a while. It's not there forever, but it could be better. The energy could be better. Michael Grant says scuba diving. I went, oh, there you go. There you go. I was starting to say something, but Allison asked a question, and Allison's very important to me. So, it was about, what was I saying? Can't remember. All right. I'm just going to go on with the readings. Get out the old cards. All right. So, told you about the Venus retrograde. All right. Yes, Julie. They are X for a reason. Aurelano. Yes, they are X for a reason. That is true. I agree, Katie Arbuckle. Mercury retrograde can be good for social media breaks. Venus retrograde is good for self-love. And Uranus retrograde for cleaning your house. Really cool. All right. I was looking at Jim Jordan's chart. Yay. I was trying to figure out what was going on with him, but I didn't get much of a chance to look at his transits, but I did have a look at his character, and I can't remember if I can't find the list from last week. It's quite frustrating. I can't find the exact list from last week of who we covered and who we're covering tonight. I'll have to print that out again, but I can't remember if we covered Jim Jordan or not. So, hey, Becca. Becca from House of Lenormand is here. The awesome Becca. Are you going to be there tonight? Are we still on at Red Lentil Healing? Jolie says, we're all trying to figure out what's going on with Jimmy Jordan. Yes, dear. Would you like what? Did you want another blanket? Did you want another blanket? Because you'll cry otherwise. No? No? Do you want a blanket? No, I'm just going to stand here and look around and be okay. Then don't go to the blanket. That's up to you. That's up to you. Unless you just want some attention. All right. All right. We are going to start by looking at Mo Brooks. Hi. These are people who just had their information subpoenaed by the January 6th committee. Just don't drink that. All right, so we're starting at 13 minutes. We're going to look at Mo. We're going to start with Mo Brooks. We started going over some of this yesterday, but hi, you're really tired. Okay, you're really tired. It's okay. It's okay. All right. 13 minutes in. No kitty butt toward the camera, dear. Okay. Yeah, you're I know how this works. There you go. There you go. Sorry about that. I thought maybe if I gave him some attention, it'd be okay, but he's really tired, and you know how they get when they're really tired. All right, so at 14 minutes in, Mo Brooks. Oh, Mo Brooks is an American attorney and a politician serving as the U.S. representative for Alabama's 5th Congressional District. Tucker Carlson says that Mo Brooks's backers expect he will do the bidding of big business. I'm shocked. Poll: Brooks leads U.S. Senate field by a slim margin. Okay. Brooks appointed a new campaign staff 3 days ago. And he is running against Katie Brooks? No. Katie Britt, I believe. Just double checking. Katie Britt. Okay, there's a close race between Congressman Mo Brooks and first-time candidate Katie Britt for the Republican nomination in Alabama's U.S. Senate race, it says here. So, but we're asking about, he's just had he's had his records subpoenaed, the phone and social media records subpoenaed by the January 6th committee. Gary Atkins says he's my congressman. Oh, I'm so sorry. And did you see that? Okay. Come on. Not for now. Go on. Okay, don't. All right, I can't keep doing that, kitten. I'm so sorry. It's a mess today. I'm a mess today. All right. So, he's determined to drive me crazy today, but that's okay. All right, so Mo Brooks. He's getting primaried. Interesting. But is he, thank you, Jane the Seeker. Thank you. Got your records grabbed by the January 6th committee. We are looking at, because there are so many of these jars of mayonnaise. That's Mo Brooks. It's easy to get them mixed up. So that's him. Well, he's being primaried. He's got the January 6th committee subpoenaing his records. He's feeling tired, overwhelmed. Feels like things are slipping away. Yeah, Sandy Miller, we need flashcards. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to keep all these people straight. Especially, it's like he looks like a pasty, middle-aged white politician. It's a thing. Seven of Pentacles. He was very proud of stuff he did, but it's not going to look good when it comes out. If it would have worked, he would have been sitting pretty. He would have been one of the chosen ones. So, all right. Five of Wands, Knight of Cups, High Priestess, Queen of Swords, Eight of Pentacles, Secret. This has to do. This has to do with the insurrection. This is the Democratic Knights trying to get to the truth. This is the card of secrets. and also using the higher wisdom here to get to real like legal investigations that could get someone into a lot of trouble. And this feels like a camera is on this person who's working. So work that was done, there being, emails or text messages or things like that. I just got a sharp pain in my jaw, which is usually a burst of stress out of the person I'm reading on. At least it seems that way. Yeah, these are this right in the center. These people really, wow. These people really betrayed our country. I can't even wrap my head around it. What do you think, Kitten? Is it too much? It's too much to bear. It's ridiculous. It's treasonous. So, Mo Brooks. So what's going to happen to... Thank you, Pink. I haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, and we're going to talk about Jordan here. Yeah, he hang on a second. I think I'm missing some questions. Go ahead. Okay. I've got things to do, sweetheart. There you go. Get some rest. There you go. Get some rest. Let me send a message here. Hang on. And there. All right. What's going to happen to Mo Brooks? Part 2 is at 22:30. Okay. 23. So what's going to happen to Mo Brooks? Got a devil card right on the bottom. Oh, Sherry H. Voices from the Swamp is saying, did y'all catch the new political ad by Midas Touch? It's a mashup of Fox hosts crying about their texts being read versus them saying Democratic texts and emails aren't private. Hang on. Oh. Where was it? Text versus them saying Dems texts and emails aren't private property. We have a right to see them. I didn't watch Downton Abbey, but I've seen the memes, so I feel like is it the Dowager? I don't know. It's just like good gossip, I guess. The Emperor. These guys. I don't know why. It's just sometimes it just hits me. These guys really tried to destroy our democracy. This is just. How can you betray the country like that? How can you call yourself an American and try to install a dictator, an autocrat, somebody who wasn't chosen And this feels very, very strong. Justice. 7 of Wands, being the far right, someone on the far right being on the defensive. 5 of Pentacles out in the cold, abandoned by other Republicans. Page of Pentacles, someone new taking his seat. Queen of Pentacles joining the new Republicans. Newer. Doesn't mean they're going to be everything we wish they were, but if they were, they'd be Democrats. It starts over here with Justice, and then he's on the defensive about it, and it's just he just starts losing things, backing his seat. It looks like things look very bad for Mo. Yeah. Gary Atkins says these people need to be in jail. They're two-faced. Yes. Oh, yeah. Memories of Echo. I was talking about the pet speaking buttons. Yeah, those are cute. I'm a little leery of getting them for these two knuckleheads because they pretty much get what they want anyway, and I'm really concerned that it would put me even more at their beck and call. I'd have to create one that just was like one would have to be hang on, as in I'll get to in a minute, and the other would have to be no or wait something, because otherwise, once they figured out how to use it, I wouldn't be able to get anything done. Teresa Ford said they'd be hitting mad all the time. Oh, Sarah was telling me there was this is part of the show where we go back up to the good energy and then we can go back down into the muck. Pink says Boo Boo would just park himself on the cuddle button. Oh. Electra Storm says every time you say Mo Brooks, I keep thinking Mel Brooks. So do I. But anyway, there was Sarah was saying that there was a woman who got those buttons for her cat, and she got home from work one day and the cat was just beside himself, herself, and was just hitting litter box, litter box, litter box, treat. Did she tell that story here? I can't remember. I'm sorry if I'm repeating this. And the owner's like, oh, do you need something? Cat's litter box, litter box, litter box, treat. She's like, oh, okay. So she went and looked, and indeed the litter box needed to be scooped out. She took care of that and gave the kitty a treat. And the kitty stood there by the buttons. Cuddle. Like, you've been all right. You've been forgiven, or cuddle. It was cute. Anyway. All right. Terry H says, my daughter's dog hits mom, 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 mom. Somebody wants attention. Oh, that's awesome. Bellbird says it's so cat-like. Yes. Yes. So, all right, we're going to move on. He's in trouble. He's in trouble, and it seems like he's in big trouble. Hang on. Hopefully that'll be a little bit better without being too much. Okay, we're moving on to Andy Biggs. Andy Biggs. Now, this is a hard one for me. Second here. Oh, cool. Questions disappeared, and I was just able to recapture 4 of them. So, nice. Hang on. But technical difficulties, they happen sometimes. All right, there and there. Okay. So now we are at say 30:45. All right, let's have a look. Who we're talking about. All right, this is Andy Biggs. All right, Congressman Andy Biggs is an American attorney and politician who represents Arizona's 5th Congressional District in the House. He was a member of the Arizona House of Representatives from 2003 to 2011 and a member of the Arizona Senate from 2011 to 2017. And I'm not surprised. Okay, Arizona congressman opposes recommending contempt of Congress charge against Trump's chief of staff. I'm shocked. Shocked. Meadows and the band of loyalists, how they fought to keep Trump in power. Mr. Trump on cable television. Representative Andy Biggs of Arizona, whose political ascent was padded by a $10 million sweepstakes win. Whew, boy. But this is what he looks like. So we know who we're talking about. Hang on a second. I'm not juggling things very well today, but I'm trying. In the problem I have, is that I've got to grab the URL. Sorry. The problem I have is that when I, at one point in the early aughts, I had a job at a flight school and I worked out front, and my boss was a man named Andy Riggs, who passed away a few years after. He was the vice president of the New York Times, and he went from being the vice president of the New York Times to being my boss in this tiny little flight school. He was great, and when he left, he was replaced by like four, five, six people. He was used to being in, New York City and all of this stuff. And I was, sitting there at the front desk, but I was also very much his personal secretary, whether I liked it. And I did. I helped him out every way I could. And he had a dachshund whom he loved dearly, Lady. And, he was a curmudgeon guy. I'm gonna waste some time here. I'm gonna just tell you a quick story. He was trying to break up a union. Sorry, he wasn't trying to break up a union. What am I saying? He was trying to break up a deadlock between, I think it was the union and the company itself, or something like that. But there are these negotiations going on, and they're stymied. And I guess this was back in the 80s. Might have been late 70s. I don't know. And there was this argument, and there was the one guy who was the opposition, Now I remember. See, I'm not doing well telling the story. He was working for the company. He's talking to the union guy. That was it. And they're arguing back and forth. And you know how people used to have certain names we don't use as much these days, or nicknames, but the guy had one of those. Anyway, they're not getting anywhere in the talks. So Andy goes down and met up with his wife and his son for lunch or what have you. His son was very small. And his son had something for him and for good luck. So he took it and he put it on and he went back to talks. And he went and he sat down, and the guy across the table looked at him. And his son had given him a little Kermit the Frog button. And the guy across the table was like, "What's with the frog?" "Oh, no, what's with the button?" And he said, "It's a frog, Dick." And everybody just lost it, I guess. But it turned into a breakthrough, negotiating. So anyway, he had all kinds of stories about, dealing with people who, were just salt of the earth, and dealing with people who had their own helicopters. "Oh, I'm sending my helicopter. You're ill. I'm going to send my helicopter for you." And it's like, what? So every time I see Kermit the Frog, or certainly anything that's sort of like a button or a picture of Kermit the Frog, I think it's a frog, Dick. Richard was the guy. So anyway, that was Andy Riggs, and he was great, and I just so enjoyed the year and a half he was my boss. And so I'm sorry to take so much time on this, but I really liked the guy. He was just a sweetheart, and so smart. And he'd get the New York Times every morning, of course, and he'd read it. He'd come in, and we're sitting there, and we'd get done, or he'd get done with it. He'd walk into the reception area, and he'd hand me the paper. It's like, I'm going to get paid to sit here and read the paper. He's like, "There you go. There's the paper." Okay. Sure. Anyway, so that's why I am, yes, Dizrat, Kermit saves the day, exactly. So that's why when I start reading on Andy Biggs, I'm like, really? Really? From this to pond scum. Andy Riggs, bless your soul. Bless you, bless your family. Bless your kids. All right. Andy Biggs. Ugh. All right. Artemis has a very funny story in the chat. Andy Biggs, what's going to happen to you? Page of Swords. Bullies. Ugh, now we're just back in this cesspool of energy. Thank you, Sherpy. Thank you. 9 of Wands, 3 of Wands, Hermit, 2 of Swords, Justice. Oh, Mr. Biggs. This is not good for you. What did you send out there, waiting for it to come back? What did you help set up? it being looked at very, very, very carefully. Illegal decision you made, and big old major arcana justice here. Big old major arcana hermit in the center, carefully going over. That's whatever you did, maybe you shouldn't have. Yeah. Just trying to see if there's anything specific. We know that Jim Jordan, he admitted that one of the texts, we're going to get to him. We're gonna get to him. He admitted one of the texts was his, but Andy Biggs. I hate to say it, but these guys really do start looking alike. Everything's being looked at very, very carefully. Yes, exactly. Just rats scrambling. Same cards. Out in the cold, or rather being isolated, and because you were part of this, you're not good. They're all over you. All right, Andy Biggs. Maybe you should have been an actual American. I hope you guys like the. I really liked this overlay. For today, I think of it as Americana, founding of the country, kind of Americana, which just makes it even more infuriating that I'm reading on these people who betrayed our country. Betrayed their oaths of office, betrayed our country. Flames coming out the sides of my head. Desrat says they actually thought those texts would never see the light of day. That's true. That's true. All right, next is 43 minutes in, Madison Cawthorn. And save. Is North Carolina. Madison Cawthorn is 26 years old. He's married to Christina Cawthorn. They got married in 2020. And he is a representative for North Carolina's 11th Congressional District. He was elected to Congress in 2020 to succeed Republican Mark Meadows. If you are, I assume you guys know who that is. If you don't, let me know. I will pull up his picture. Jane the Seeker says, and a liar. I'm not going to argue with that. Not a bit. Oh, who was it? Who just said that? Kay Rubio saying the borders give me a Greek vibe. Well, it was that whole neoclassical thing that was going on in the 1700s. So that's, yeah. So Madison Cawthorn is being, having his phone and social media records subpoenaed by the January 6th committee. Madison Cawthorn. Ooh, gosh, he is young. He's got a lot more. He's just got a lot more energy. He's just got a lot more. He's not thinking well, but he's thinking. He's faster just because things are processing faster. But that just, it's like, great, you've got a great engine on your car and you've just run it right off a cliff. No, I didn't see Liz Cheney's tweets. Far right victory, that's what he wants. Oh my gosh, he's one of those people who needs to like tie himself to a therapist couch. Just pick a therapist, have one of Freud's reclining things brought in, and just some rope. Just tie yourself to it. He has issues. Moonwolf says their emails and cell calls are not protected because you cannot regulate air. If transmitted by lines or cables, then it's regulated by the FCC. You don't say. Pink says Cawthorn's the kind of guy that mamas need to warn their daughters about. Pretty package, but rotten to the core. I'm with you on that one. Well, he's very symmetrical, but he's just. I don't even get evil. I just get so. He's not dealt with all of everything he's been through, not just the accident, but all this other, there's just all this stuff. He's just, okay, burden. Oh, that's a lot of his information being carried in. The committee, this is kind of a high five. Oh, this was the, what do you call it, when the electoral votes were accepted, the Democrats having this day, and he wanted to destroy that. And he's not going to play nice. I'm certainly not going to make fun of the fact that he needs therapy. I see a therapist. I'm totally open about that. It has helped me immensely. I highly recommend it. What's going to happen to you, Cawthorn? Traitor. Really? There's a silver lining to this cloud of whatever this cloud is made of. This is going to help in society with equal rights for people who are in wheelchairs, that they be treated exactly like everyone else, because they're not going to let him, history is not going to be kind to him, and nobody's going to care about his physical limitations. Thank you, Kim. Nobody. You guys remember the 5th of November, Guy Fawkes Day? Guy Fawkes was just the one who was caught. There was actually a whole group of them who were rolling barrels of gunpowder underneath the Houses of Parliament. It kind of feels like that. There's so much evidence. These guys, they weren't subtle. They feel so entitled that they can do whatever they want. They can say whatever they want. If they want to take, it's just politics. It's just, we need power. And 10 of Swords, 6 of Swords, Page of Wands, 5 of Wands, 5 of Cups. This is what happened to him, and he went and he became radicalized. And certainly being around other congressional people who were there, have been there longer or what have you, but he really embraced the radicalization. And this is trying to kick those cups down, the evidence against him, but you can't. All right, well, that gave me his history. Come on now. What's going to happen to him? Edison says Trump wants to be number one. He's the first U.S. president to attempt to overthrow the U.S. government. Yeah. That makes what Nixon did look kind of pale by comparison. He just wanted a dirty trick. He just wanted inside information. That was it. It's still rotten. But there wasn't an armed insurrection. Matter of fact, when the men were caught who broke into the Democrats' office at Watergate, my understanding is they were just like, okay, you got us. And they were just like standing there. It's like, okay, we're waiting for more police to get here. And they just stood there. Best of my knowledge. Don says, entitled, emboldened, encouraged, sigh. Dave is using meditation as therapy. Definitely helps. Justice. Cawthorn. 26, really? King of Cups. That's Biden, who got the most votes, was becoming president. Those are his communications. He himself is not going to, this came up before too. He's not going to cooperate very much. Because he's under this idea, if you just be belligerent and mean enough, you get away with anything. Because that's what he learned from Trump and the others. All right, Cawthorn. You made this bed. You get to lie in it. All right, at 53:30, Matt Gaetz. 53:30. Sorry. All right. So they want Matt Gaetz communication as well. Pretty sure they could just go talk to the FBI, or is it just in Florida where Greenberg, is that his name, is being investigated, is on trial, or is going to be on trial. Have a great day, Disrupt. Great. Do. Matt Gaetz, come on down. Really? You guys can't just go, hey, FBI, you're looking into all this stuff. You've got his, you've got all his communications organized. Let's have a look at that. Matt Gaetz. Oh dear. Okay. With this one, I got a sense in my gut of my gut loosening. That's what I got. Oh yeah, he's still out there fighting for Trumpism, far right extremism. Matt Affluenza Gaetz. Oh yeah, this would be exactly what you were doing in those hotel rooms. Tower, and it came out. Queen of Cups, victims. Teenage victims grow up into potentially some strong women who are going to have something to say. Hemmed in, Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune raised you up. It can take you down and crush you into little tiny pieces. We're still waiting though. We're really specifically looking at the January 6th committee. What are they going to get about Gaetz? I mentioned this yesterday, I think, that the one thing you can say, those people who are embarrassed about the text they sent to Meadows, is maybe they shouldn't be so upset, because it proves that they weren't in on the planning for an actual, invade the Capitol building, HMP, first word hang, going after Nancy Pelosi. If this was starting and they're saying it's gone too far, it's everyone who was saying that, you could say, well, in that case, but they said that you went too far. So they wanted to do something. It doesn't mean they're innocent, but it does mean that at least those people weren't involved in the planning of the worst of the worst of the worst of it. They were planning, Google Peace is saying they were planning to report something else. True. And I thought I heard that they just wanted the Capitol building. They basically just wanted to suspend the acceptance of Biden's electoral votes for like 3 days. And they thought in those 3 days they could get various states to change their minds. But it was just supposed to be somehow, at least that's what I heard, that's really giving them the benefit of the doubt. But Republicans sitting pretty. Yeah, and that's also infuriating that they didn't have, so many Republicans were just sitting there and they're like, oh, well, they're not coming after me. I want to say, was it Kinzinger himself? There was a Republican who turned to his Democratic colleagues and said, was like, okay, we're all taking off our pins and stay behind me. Or you take off your pins and stay behind me. Something like that. I could be wrong, but I thought I heard something like that. 7. So we're back at Matt Gaetz. 7 of Pentacles, fruits of labor. 8 of Cups, that's evidence. Judgment. Chariot. 2 of, his communications get him in trouble too, sooner rather than later, but I don't know that it's just January 6th. I've got Judgment and the Chariot right next to each other. That's you are going down hard. You are going down hard. Whoo boy. So could this happen sooner rather than later, maybe? Okay, thanks. As Aspie Third Eye saying, I'll bet Trump had already designed the crown he intended to wear. Mm-hmm. Gatesy Waitsy. Hazmat Affluenza Gaetz. Again, you were just working, and you're still out there. Okay, I hit this and I didn't see which card came last, which was the middle, which came last. So, well, I don't know that it would matter much. This is that evidence card. All of the burden of the evidence just laid out very neatly for everybody to see. Laid out all the evidence. All right. So which is going to hit first? At 101, a quick look. First. January 6th committee. Or is it Florida? Let's say Greenberg related. Let's ask that. Okay. At 30. So who's going to get Gaetz? Who's going to go after Gaetz first? January 6th Select Committee? Or does anybody know is Matt Gaetz is all of that? Oh dear. Is that all in the state of Florida or is the FBI involved? Oh dear. Matt Gaetz. Matt Affluenza Gaetz. Have a great day, Jolie. Hermit. It's who can get through the information first. Queen of Pentacles, Four of Swords, Seven of Swords. Republicans, this is legally quiet as a tomb, but that's a thief card. I do not get this is he's going to get off scot-free. Atha's saying the FBI because he moved an underage teen over the borders. Ah, okay. FBI, the January 6th committee, referring him for charges. Ace of Pentacles. Affluenza, sitting pretty. He's a pole turtle. We talked about this the other day. I was watching a what the YouTube channel. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's a variation on Anonymous, but it's not at all. She's a lovely astrologer, but she was talking about Matt Gaetz' chart, and she said the man's a pole turtle. You're driving along, you see a pole, you see a turtle on top of the pole. Now, there's only one way that turtle got there. He wasn't born there. He didn't climb all the way up there. The only reason that turtle is on top of that pole is because he was put there, and that's Matt Gaetz. Ouch. Ooh, boy, that's a bad day. Your communications are going to get you in trouble. This is, you've been protected for so long. I'm sorry, you were pulled over for DUI how many times? It's coming. It's not here yet, but it's coming. And I'm not getting a specific one or the other. So it may be that one brings, like, the January 6th committee will recommend charges, maybe. But before the DOJ goes through with it, maybe the FBI, who knows? So, but there's justice coming for him. It just infuriates me that how there are like Trump and Gaetz and all these people are just swanning around doing whatever they want. It's like, so what? Laws don't matter? Anyway. All right, 106. Jim Jordan. Did you guys hear Lawrence O'Donnell talking about Jim Jordan last night? It was last night or the night before. I watched the clip on YouTube, so I'm not sure which day it was, but I will always have a soft spot for Lawrence O'Donnell, just because when Trump got into office and everybody, all the other news anchors were even in groups, when they would like, this is happening such and such, and there's a excuse me, there's a speech he has to give, and the other ones were like, this was the most presidential he's been. Maybe he's turned a corner. Maybe and Lawrence O'Donnell was sitting right there. They stopped inviting him to these things because he just sat there and he was like, no, he hasn't turned a corner. He's not going to turn a corner. He's not going to grow into the job. His commentary was always the same. It was the same all the way through. And they even stopped inviting him to, be on these different like panels during the day or what have you, because he only had one thing to say, and he was right. Jim Jordan. Let me tell you this briefly. I was having a look at his astrology chart. I will not go into like stuff where you're like, what? All right. I made a few notes. Basically, he's got 3 main clumps in his chart, and they are in three astrological signs: Aries, Virgo, Aquarius, if I do them in order. I was looking at the back of the paper. These are not the most necessarily touchy-feely, sensitive signs. Aries, god of war. Virgo, absolutely minute, detailed, organizing, crafting. When it's good, my gosh, the artists are, when they go bad, these are the pettiest, I don't know, Dolores Umbridges of the world. With everything just so. And Aquarius. And if you want to know what's Aquarius like when it goes bad, Mark Zuckerberg, the robot. Yeah. So that's what Jim Jordan has got in his chart. He's got 3 clumps of planets, and it's in Aries, Virgo, and Aquarius. He does have something in he has 2 things in water signs. So you think, oh, okay, so he'll have some sensitivity down in there. He's got Neptune in Scorpio, which everybody born around the time he was has that too. But he's got Neptune he's got Neptune in Scorpio that is not integrated into the rest of the chart. And there's this quote I found at horoscopes.lovetoKnow.com. People who have Neptune in Scorpio. Due to their psychic sensitivity, those with Neptune in Scorpio can become numb to pain and suffering and desensitized to trauma. So maybe there's some part of him way back when that, maybe there's some sensitivity buried in there somewhere, but it's buried. That is not integrated well. It's in conjunct, something directly across from it, which is a whole lot of, I joke in conjunct is like, it's like my my dating life. Two ships passing in the night. Oh, is that passionate? No. Like, I'm on this ship over here, and there's a guy, and he's on a ship, and he's way over there, and it's really dark. You can't quite tell, and you're like a distance, and you kind of wave, and he kind of waves, and the ships go their way. And yeah, that's pretty much my love life. So, yes, two ships passing in the night. Yeah. So, and then this is the kicker, the absolute kicker. There's something called your north node, south node. No, it's not a thing. It's a mathematical point. It has to do where the moon itself, as it's moving, crosses the elliptic, the round disc around this, like where the equator is. If you made a disc straight out from that, and it's where anyway, your north node is what it's like your work order. While you're here, you need to go, go fix the plumbing in this, and go, fix the roof on that, and go clean out that basement there. It's like, okay. This man has his north node. Jim Jordan has a north node in Cancer, which is the first of the water signs ruled by the moon. It is the big mom of the zodiac. Life mission, I found this as well. Life mission for somebody who has their north node in Cancer. Focus on your emotional nature. Be a warm and nurturing soul. And right beneath that, I have epic fail. Yeah. I don't know how he's not built to do that, but that's his work order in this life. And he was supposed to protect those kids, those college kids. He was supposed to protect them. It's on your work order. But no, he wants to be belligerent. His sun and Mars and Saturn are all in the same place, and your sun is yourself, Mars is taking action, and Saturn is limits and constrictions, and it's not fun at parties, let me tell you. And it's in the cold house of Aquarius, potentially cold house of Aquarius. And he has an Aries moon. And when Aries moon goes bad, you're going to have trouble finding a more selfish person. So I was floored by that, because it's like, okay, yeah, jerk, got it. What? Wait, Cancer, North Node? I have my moon in Cancer. I have like this, my emotional needs and what I give. It's I want to feed you and make sure you're warm, and I give to feedingamerica.org, and I'm a sensitive little thing. I admit it. And that's where his Jim Jordan's North Node is. Oh my gosh. Epic fail. Epic fail. Just waiting for our turn says, can we help Justice to hurry along by paying for an Uber? I hear you. Russell Reed says, my moon is in Cancer too, Autumn. Okay, so then you know that sensitivity. It's all about caring. It's all about, the big mom of the zodiac. That's the point. Jim Jordan, please. Anyway, so the January 6th committee wants your information, Jim Jordan. Pink says, my daughter has a Cancer stellium, very sensitive creature. I believe it. Darren Smith says Nancy Pelosi is a positive Aries. Yes. Strong fire sign. Yes. Liz Cheney is also a fire sign, a Leo. Yes. Both are female warriors for justice. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. January 6th committee. Then the other thing is Jim Jordan admitted matter of fact, apparently because Lawrence O'Donnell was talking about it, he actually admitted which of the tweets Jim Jordan himself sent. It says on January 6th, this is Representative Jim Jordan's text message to Mark Meadows. And I love that he's now saying, well, that was something I forwarded. But like a meme for funsies. This is the text message Jim Jordan sent. On January 6, 2021, Vice President Mike Pence, as President of the Senate, should call out all electoral votes that he believes are unconstitutional as no electoral votes at all. In accordance with guidance from Founding Father Alexander Hamilton and judicial precedents, no legislative act, wrote Alexander Hamilton in Federalist number 78, no legislative act contrary to the Constitution can be valid. The court in Hubbard v. Lowe reinforced this truth, that an unconstitutional statute is not a law at all. It is a proposition that an unconstitutional statute is not a law at all is a proposition no longer open to discussion. I would hate to have to try to diagram that sentence. Whew. First of all, Alexander Hamilton. I think Alexander Hamilton wants you keeping his name out of your mouth, Jim Jordan. Because Trump was sending a battalion to remind us of his love. And you helped out. He was up to his eyeballs. Jim Jordan, Lawrence O'Donnell was pointing out that Liz Cheney listed the tweets off, but she didn't say who exactly said what. And nobody stepped forward and said, yeah, that was me. Nobody. The next day, word started kind of spreading, rumor, and that Jim Jordan is one who had written that tweet. And then he finally came out and said, yeah, I wrote it. But he only admitted to it after it basically leaked. That wasn't in the PowerPoint, Jean. I don't believe. This was a text message that Jim Jordan sent to Mark Meadows. 8 of Wands. Okay. 10 of Wands. 8 of Swords. 5 of Pentacles. Shunned. They have so much information. People are going to be hemmed in, like Jordan. He was in the thick of it, and the committee is basically everything he threw. They're just picking it all up, organizing it, and it's not gonna bode well for him. These are minor arcana cards as well, because these guys, their whole effect on history, their whole energetic beings get knocked back down to size. Diane Cachet says he forwarded it from conservative lawyer Jim Schmidt. Yeah, but he forwarded it. He sent the tweet. But thank you for that. Thank you. I appreciate that. I imagine you're agreeing with me. I'm just... Hey. Okay. So much. Kim Hawkins says, everyone get your popcorn ready. Mm-hmm. Sorry, someone's just parked a white van in the back and suddenly I'm blind. All right, Hermit, 7 of Swords, Page of Pentacles. Some things were sent, papers were sent. It's people, runners, interns, couriers. They have information too. And it's all being looked at very, very closely. Very closely. None of this is just going to be like, oh, well, whatever. So I guess somebody's coming to fix or check the furnaces. So I'm going to close this door. There we go. I'm back. Man. Electrostorm says this meme has a cat staying away from a Christmas tree because it is surrounded by tangerines, which the cat hates. It's actually quite clever. Diana Cachet saying they're all in it together. Remember, 45 also pardoned the Blackwater convicted murderers after he lost. Mm-hmm. Pink saying, yoo-hoo, boo-boo. Wow, Mom is away. Oh, as I'm shuffling, because I'm going to read on Ron DeSantis here in a second. Yay. What was I going to say? A bit scattered today. I don't know why. I think I'm just tired. Oh, well, doesn't matter. Another good story. Gone. All right. So I got a peek at Lighty Pillow. Oh, Lighty Pillow. Of course. There. I take requests. What was it? The Doors, Jim Morrison. He was such an artiste that he didn't, Come On Baby, Light My Fire. He'd play it, but people they'd want to hear it again. They'd want to, or they'd be asking for that one until it was played, and Jim Morrison get really annoyed by all of this and play the Blizzard song. I can't remember what it was. It was just this long droning thing. And then you have Rob Zombie, who was like, what? No, you got an audience. What do you want me to play? You want me to play the same song 15 times? I'll play the same song 15 times. Whatever you want. I'm here. What do you want to hear? You want to hear this? You want to hear that? You let me know. So thank you, Sherry. Thank you, guys. So that's how I am. It's like the Lighty Pillow. It's a nice little side table. A little heater there. Looks like a nice little cozy fire. Kitty. Okay. Oh, Sherry H is sharing some great links. If you aren't already subscribed, you can click here for Red Lentil Healing. Yes, please become please subscribe to Adrienne at Red Lentil Healing. She's great. And then Sherry also has a link to Johnny's channel, Tarot's Apprentice, which I may be on tomorrow night. So right, DeSantis, 2530. Ow. 12530. All right. So we like that Gavin Newsom is saying, fine, you want to do this whole vigilante thing? We'll do this vigilante thing to stop assault weapons. Well, Ron DeSantis has introduced, is this really its name? Stop Woke Act? Is that really what it's called? Modeled after the Texas law, to allow private people to sue schools if they catch them teaching CRT, critical race theory. Critical race theory, to the best of my knowledge, isn't a thing. It isn't a thing in Florida. It isn't a thing up in wherever that recent election, Ohio, Pennsylvania, somewhere up there. Yeah. Berlin said that's really what it's called. Oh, jeez. Oh. Floating Lotus says, isn't CRT a cathode ray tube? Jane the Seeker says that's only taught in college. So, Ron DeSantis. He's just the worst. He's just the worst. Thank you, Marby. Thank you. Page one's it's a dog whistle. It's meh. The sun, that would be racism. That would be fool. That would be racist. This would be the wheel of fortune. Goes up, comes down. Far right communication. Secret motivations for doing this. It's a dog whistle. That's all this is. This is communicating. That was the messenger for the reading. They're just trying to, he's just trying to gin up outrage and, yeah, people who will swear up and down they're not racist, but yeah, have someone with dark skin move into their neighborhood and learn how quickly just how not racist they are. Yeah. But DeSantis is not going to be there forever. He will not be in that job forever. Faye said, the CRT, you mean Basic American History? Yes. Barbara Cole saying, the trouble is these Republicans have to make stuff up like CRT or a group called Antifa. Yeah. $800 books banned, Don Gubb says. I think that was in Texas. Is it in Texas? I thought it was. Unbelievable. So that's DeSantis. Blech. Electra Storm made me laugh. 129.30. Will the education department, hang on just a second.
Where you got your cat? More boots. Go ahead.
Yes, I know. Yes, but they have the doors open. They want to open the doors, and you, Houdini,
I know you, Houdini, you just go out any chance you get. You go running out there. I almost lost you. Scared me to death.
Okay. That is Brave Sir Alfred of Pumpkin. Alfie. Pumpkin. Grumpy.
You're a good boy. Yes, you are.
He wants to go outside. He's the one who managed to get himself locked in a car that was stored. How? And scared me to death. But he's okay. And now he's just annoyed but if they leave the doors open, someone's coming in and out, he'll be like, ooh, I want to go explore, and he'll be gone again. That's Pumpkin. And then Boo Boo is Bailey, Boo Boo's, and Kitty's under the blanket here. So
The good Al. The good boy. Yes, you are. You're a good boy. You're a good. Oh, that's a big yawn. Oh, that's a big yawn. He's a good boy. Oh, sweetheart.
he's a sweetie. Okay. Dawn says, dang it, Autumn's done the pillow thing. Yes. All right, so at 1:32, sorry about that. Some days I'm really on the ball. I just work my way through the questions, and some days it's just harder to keep everything going. Anyway. Have a great day, Bellbird. All right. 1:32:15. Electrostorm had a question that made me laugh. Will the education department finally get rid of the No Child Left Behind policy? Have Head Start pre-K in every state and sex ed in every state, as well as civics in every state? We are really dumb. I laughed. I laughed at that. Electra, I don't know that we'll ever get that much, but education department, I'll just say education department will really improve education, civics, all kinds of stuff. Knight of Swords. Well, you know, they're the far right. They're going after the school boards and stuff like that. So you start messing with education, and oh my gosh, they might learn something.
You're okay. You're okay. Yes, you're okay. You're okay. Tired kid. Just a tired kid. You're a little boy.
I'm going to stay awake. I'm going to stay awake. I'm not tired. I'm going to stay awake. This is a mess. This education energy is just a muddled, horrible mess. Eventually things will get better over time, but for now, things are better if you live in a rich area. It's a mess. I don't think our education system is going to improve that much yet. Give it some time, maybe, but Pink says, basically Autumn's cats in one snapshot. Boo Boo napping cozily in the happy chair. Oh, the great chair of happiness, yes. And Pumpkin on high alert, yes. Electra Storms says, for now, we will remain stupid. Okay. I'm sorry to stay. I'm sorry to say. All right. I am losing my voice. So I am going to call for today, but I've got some other questions I will put in first thing tomorrow, and then there'll be space for others. So just put your political questions in the chat in all caps. It is 1:51 here in Chicago, and at 4 o'clock I will be over on Book Art Media working on creative stuff. You're always welcome to carve some creative time out of your schedule. And then this evening at 6 p.m. Central Time, I'll be over on Red Lentil Healing for some hanging out with some of my favorite people, doing some readings on these rotten human beings. And I'm going to be doing the astrology part of that. So, all right. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I will be right back here tomorrow. And sorry about my throat's getting dry, and even though I'm drinking, but we made it through, and we got some information, and I got to spend time with you, which I'm always grateful for. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. You have plenty of opportunities to hang out with me if you'd like. And from us to you, I hope you have a great rest of your day. You're not alone. There are good days ahead. Take care.